In this video class, we will do a live example using the methods of timing object. In this example, we are going to make a seconds counter. We will be requiring a button to start the counter, one button to stop the counter, and a text field where we show the numbers. So let's write the HTML part first. Here I will write HTML after the script tag. I will write input type is equals to button. Then I will write its value to be start count. Then I need a text field, so I write input type is equals to text. Okay, that's it for now. And then I need another button, so I just copy this button and paste it here, and here the value should be stop count. Okay, now I have two buttons and one text field. Let's check the view of this HTML. Okay, here are the buttons and the field, and now I want to do an example where I have to click on this start button. Then there will be counting in the text field here, and then I can stop this counting using the stop count button. We will do this example using setTimeout method. So as we have HTML structure ready with us, we have to work on JavaScript part now. Okay, come back to your script. Okay, first of all, I will declare a variable whose value will have to increase with every second. So I am declaring a variable which is variable count. Okay, I want to start count it by 0. So let's initialize its value with 0. So variable count is equals to 0. Okay, now when user click on the start button, a function will be called through events. So I need that function. Let's create that function. So I will write function and its name is myCount. And in that function we have to write some statements. Okay, now I have the function with me, and now we have to define the function. So first of all I will write here document dot get element by id and parenthesis and a semicolon. So whenever we want to change the content of HTML using JavaScript, we must always have to use get element by id. It is the method of document object, as same as we have document.write. So this get element by id method will search for the HTML part where you want to make changes. So I want to change the value in text field, so I need to use its id. As you can see, I have not given that field any id, so let's give that first. I will write here input type is equals to text. Then I will give it some id which is equals to text. Okay, now I can use this id in my get element by id method, so I can write the id in parenthesis. I will write text here, which is the id of this text field. So this statement when get executed will search my HTML structure for the id text. When it gets searched, this will be get selected. Now we want to change the value of field with the count variable. So I will write here document dot get element by id, then its id, then we have to write dot value is equals to the variable which is count. By writing this, the value in the text field will be the value of count variable which is 0. Now you have to call the function using events. So I will use onClick event on my first button. I will write here onClick is equals to, I have to call the myCount button. Okay, now you have to save the file and reload the web browser. Now let's try to click on start count button. Okay, here we are getting 0 in the text field. Now the task is to increase the counter every second, and that we will do using setTimeout method. So go back to the script again, and now you have to write in the function, you have to write count plus plus, which means count is equals to count plus 1. So this will increase the value of count variable by 1. Now I have to call the function every second. So now I will use setTimeout inside the function to call the same function every second. So here I will write variable time is equals to setTimeout, then the function name, which is my count, and then the time limit, which is 1000 milliseconds, because I want to call this function every second, then a semicolon. Okay, now when the button is clicked, when this button is clicked, the onClick method event will call this myCount function here, and this function will change the value of text field. Using this statement, this will change the value of this text field with the value of count variable, which is 0. Then there is increment here, so the value of count variable is now 1. Then setTimeout method will call the function again after 1 second, so the value in the text field will be changed by value of count variable, which is now 1. This will keep on going. So let's try it on the browser. Save this and refresh here. Okay, here is the view of my HTML page, and now I will click on the start count button, and I think there is some mistake in the code, so go back and let's delete this part. I have the my count button, I have the my count function called with 1 second my count. Okay, save and refresh. Now click on the start count button. Okay, here you can see the counting is now increasing every second, and now we have to work on the stop count button, which will stop this counting when click. So if you click this now, this will not stop calling the function again and again. So we have to work on the stop count button as well. Okay, so we need one more function to stop the counting. So I am writing a function here. This function name should be stop count. Then in parenthesis in the function we have to write the clear timeout method, and in this method we have to write the variable name which was used to set the timeout. So here I will write time variable, and as you can see I have passed the time variable into the setTimeout method, but the variable is declared inside the myCount function, which means I cannot use the variable outside the myCount function. This time variable is declared in the myCount function, so I cannot use this function in this, I cannot use this variable in this function. So I need to declare this function outside the I need to declare this variable outside the function to make it global variable. So I will delete this where keyword from here, and I will declare it before the function. So I will write here where time, or you don't need to declare this function, declare this variable. If you write time, this will declare it itself. So now use this function in onClick event. So I have to write here onClick, we have to call the function, its name is stop count, then parenthesis, and save it. Now save this and we are done. Just go back to your web browser and refresh the page. Now click on the start count button. Here is the counting increasing. Now I want to stop the counter, so just click on the stop button. Okay, here you can see the timer has stopped now. You can start the counter and also stop the counter from here. So just click on start button, this will start counting, and when you click on the stop button, this will stop counting. So this was an example of setTimeout and clearTimeout method. I hope you are now very much familiar with both of these methods. Now next in the list we have live example for setInterval and clearInterval. I will show you that in the next video class. I would recommend you to try this example by your own before continuing to the next video. Thanks for watching and I see you in the next video class.